This week on the Virtual Skeptics, Bob was a free man in Paris. Eve has good news and bad news. Barb smells. I didn't write this. I'm your host, Brian Gregory. And if you had any idea what we were talking about before we started the show, you'd be as depressed as we are.
Yeah.
Just letting you know right off the bat that this is... Okay, it's a show. Awesome. Look, hey, there are people watching.
Hi!
Yay!
Wow, hi people!
Woohoo! Let me introduce these people that are on the cameras to you people watching the cameras. I won't do that again. I'm sorry. I keep saying that and I do it anyway.
You keep promising it.
First up, we got Bob Blazkowicz.
I need 2 tickets. Need 2 tickets. 2 tickets.
Apparently
Need
he has
2
2
tickets.
He's the conspiracy guy, web columnist, blogger for Skeptical Humanities, and Skepticality contributor, and needs 2 tickets pretty badly. This is Eve Siebert, editor and blogger at Skeptical Humanities, and contributor to Skepticality and Insight at skeptic.com. And this is Barbara Drescher, former psychology instructor, blogger at ICBS Everywhere, and contributor to skeptical projects such as Insight without an S and skeptic.com. And the odds must be crazy. I'm just some dude. Hi.
You're not so just
No,
some,
you're
killer robot.
some dude.
I'm
Yeah.
No,
You're
that's the
some
wrong.
dude.
That is
There
the
are
completely
shows
wrong
That's the right
developed,
inflection.
kind of.
there. If you're watching, great. Thank you. Thanks for tuning in. We've got a couple of things we do. One thing that we wish we could do and we don't do, and then some things that we do. Never mind. If you
Voodoo, that voodoo that you do so well.
that you do. If you're watching on the YouTubes, you can chat with us with the YouTube chat, and I see a couple of people on there. Pierre Cloutier, regular listener, and Steve Exton and Robert Clary. Hi. I don't recognize that name, but I think you've watched before. But thanks for tuning in. Also on Twitter, you can do the Twitters with hashtag Virtual Skeptics, and if it's funny or if it's a good question, we will include you in the shenanigans. If you don't know how this works, we talk about stuff and you listen and then hopefully say snarky things. And that is the magic. So without further ado, first up, we got Barbara this week.
Oh, also movie you have to identify.
Yeah, there's a thing behind me. If you want to guess what it is, I will give you
Can't even
credit.
see it.
And by the way, you all already have lost to Barb.
That's true. Barb almost always gets these before we even started the show. So,
Which is really funny because there was a time there where I just couldn't get any of them.
I have some obscure ones,
after you moved, I think maybe it's because I could see the screen better. I don't know.
I figured out how to set the TV right so that you can actually see.
You set it to the Barb channel.
Yeah,
But
there's a
it
contrast thing,
can't be totally it because other people would get it. I wouldn't.
Anyway, I see some interesting pictures on your slides, and
yeah, I'll get to those.
Unfortunately, we don't have smell-o-vision, so
I'm not gonna start with them though.
Okay, cool.
I'm gonna start with something that popped up in my Facebook feed. So this video from NBC News's Better department, they have a Better department now, and popped up on Facebook and started playing itself. And it was this girl talking about what you should do in the middle of the afternoon when you're at work in order to energize yourself rather than drinking coffee.
Put a battery in your butt.
I guess it's supposed to be really bad for you. I don't know. She went through a bunch of things and
amphetamines.
Yeah. She did not mention that. She, talked about your blood sugar and maybe you should have something with
the 3-hour energy thing.
No. She didn't talk about those at all.
That's what I usually get.
She actually talked about how you shouldn't drink a soda either because it's got caffeine and apparently that's just bad. So I, of course, am always skeptical of these things because I find that the research done is usually pretty weak. And she didn't say anything really outrageous until This one sentence kind of sparked my interest.
Uh-oh.
Studies have shown that the scent of mint helps wake our brains up and fights fatigue. Okay, so I looked that up. I Googled, I tried, I looked at some studies. I didn't really find that. I did find suggestions about peppermint, which is specific because mint comes in many different, and peppermint specifically has been studied. Some studies suggested that peppermint, that inhaling it might help calm nausea during pregnancy.
Like
this is not huge surprising. It's not a big surprise to sniff something and have it relieve nausea. There's some great research about rubbing alcohol. You have to get the isopropyl though, because there's 2 different kinds, and that's the one that works. And it actually does work. You don't want to, of course, snort it. You just want to sniff a little bit, but it does reduce some forms of nausea. So, or some causes of nausea. So some studies also suggested that ingesting peppermint may calm spasms and reduce pain associated with IBS. So the articles about it that I saw that were on the web referred to a study by the University of Cincinnati, and I did a quick search and I found a few attempts to replicate the findings with mixed results. A study by Wheeling Jesuit University is also referenced, and that study involved peppermint and cinnamon, and it did find that it found lower fatigue and increased alertness in drivers who smelled cinnamon or mint. But here's the problem. The scent...
Things that hang from your mirror.
Well, that's the problem. That is probably not going to work for you. The way that they did the study was the scent was infused for about 30 seconds every 15 minutes. The reason that hanging just, getting an air freshener or something like that is not gonna help you is because we adapt very, very quickly.
I was wondering about that.
Our senses are very anybody who has a cat knows you never smell the cat litter, right? But your guess might.
You wish.
When you walk in the house, you smell it, right? And then.
Well, no, we have a diabetic cat. We've been smelling the cat litter.
Okay, so it's really strong. Okay,
you really but
for the most part, if you're not supposed to, right? You're not supposed to. You're not smelling the litter. You're smelling the combination of the litter.
The thing is that some people on submarines don't kill themselves.
Yes. Yeah, that's a really good point. Okay. So anyway, so there's some weak evidence that smelling mint could make you a little more alert. But the idea that it can energize you the way caffeine can, the way a cup of coffee can, is silly. And that's basically what she said. With caffeine, you need to recognize that there is good and there is bad. And there is no magic bullet that allows you to take only the good and not the bad. So, but here's the thing. Yeah. A magic bullet probably would, but since there aren't any. This video, though, when I started doing the research, sent me down a rabbit hole. And what really got my attention was this claim that I found on one of these sites, that colors can energize you. So this site said, use these hues to feel more energized in the morning.
Colors, I can understand that.
They're not going to energize you either. Sorry.
They'll energize.
So listen to what this says, though. It says, you may or may not be a morning person, but no matter. Don't underestimate the power of color to help you feel perkier when you rise and shine. Open your eyes to a bright, vibrant color, as opposed to, say, gray. Can instantly boost your energy levels and make you feel more ready to get moving. No, it can't. They say to place yellow pillows or artwork in the first area you see. The color yellow signals love, light, warmth, and learning, and mood and energy. So putting objects in this hue where you'll see them first thing when you wake up can make it easier to get out of bed. If you don't see enough sunlight in your room, consider painting a wall a soft yellow to help recreate the idea of soft morning sunshine.
Is this a version of feng shui where the colors? I mean,
I
it
don't
sounds
know.
like
This stuff has been around for decades. Go find a green robe because green increases the ability to concentrate while reducing muscular tension and stress. That's
Muscular tension, huh?
bullshit. That's utter bullshit. In fact, I'm going to tell you what the research really says, or what my research really says, that is kind of the opposite of this.
What will blue do for me? Because I have some blue.
Nothing. Sip fresh OJ. Pour yourself a glass first thing and take in the color of the drink. Orange is stimulating, exciting, and mood elevating. No, it's not.
Hold on.
Swipe on
What is the
coral
sponsors for this?
lipstick.
I'm just wondering what the sponsor.
And this place is called sleep.org.
So orange juice.
Coral is a warm color that flatters many skin tones and is a bridge between too bright orange and too soft pink. Wearing lipstick, blush, or jewelry in this hue can instantly add pep to your step. Why?
No,
Guys
here's
might
what-
consider it.
If coral works on you, then it might make you look.
Yes, it says
Here.
guys might consider going for a coral tie. So I don't know why.
You don't even really see your own damn coral lipstick.
No,
No, you
don't.
can't. This
you
is
don't.
this is
And guys don't see their own ties either.
Well, I can see the bottom of a tie, I suppose. but
If they
If
do
they're walking
this
around like this,
a lot.
You can
which is
actually
a mistake some men make.
Okay,
kind of
so
mix them.
here's what my 10 plus, actually more like 12 or 13 years of researching this very topic have taught me. Yes, some colors, some hues are more arousing than other hues. Essentially, red and green are more arousing than yellow and blue, and it does not matter what the shade is.
well. Is that why I find brown so interesting?
No. But here's the problem. We adapt. Once again, our senses adapt so quickly that you could paint your entire room bright red and you wouldn't notice it most of the time. And it certainly wouldn't energize you for longer than, say, a few seconds.
I've got a plan.
Yeah.
So you hire someone to come to your house when you're asleep and paint your house bright red.
Differently every single
Every
day.
day.
And then when you go off to work, they paint it back gray.
But
Oh, there you
only
go.
if it's red or green. Because
well, it's the red.
and these are relative too. Because let me tell you something about this type of research. You can't compare it to no color. Black or white, you could say, yeah, you could, but you could also argue that those are colors. I mean, white is the absence, is the presence of all light, and black is the absence of light. But really, all you can do is compare the hues themselves to each other. Nothing's going to energize you. However, looking at red, you will be more aroused than looking at blue. But once again, it's probably only going to last a few seconds. So, yeah, you might wear red to stand out or get attention, but it doesn't mean anybody's really going to notice you. And it certainly isn't going to energize you, even if you are looking at yourself all the time. So this is just silly. This is just stupid. And these claims have been around forever, and they don't actually bear out.
Just a practical question. Is it true
Yeah.
that if you're driving a red car, you get pulled over more often?
I don't know. I don't think so. I have driven a red car for half of my adult life, and I probably have not been pulled over any more often than anybody else.
What if you drive as a
I don't
black
think-
person?
I've actually seen that. We use that example. We use that example in research methods to either as an example of a study design or asking students to design a study to test it. And we use it as an example, when we're trying to create something for students to evaluate. So there's lots of ways that you could study that badly. But I don't know what the research says recently. I remember reading studies about it to try to find out if that were true, like maybe 10 or 15 years ago, but I don't remember what was said. my gut tells me that no, it's not true.
Now,
But
what
I
if
couldn't tell you the
What
answer.
if I wore a red octagonal dress? Would people notice me then?
Maybe 8 times more than if you wore a yellow octagonal dress.
With the word "stop" across it?
I don't. No, probably not, because they
No,
would
they
think
just
you were
roll right over you.
stop sign, and
Yeah.
they would just ignore you because people don't really pay much attention to stop signs these days. So that's my color. My angry.
Color commentary?
My angry. Yes, my
Colorful, angry.
angry segment. But I have another. I have a
Color.
better segment. Unless you guys have any questions about that, because
What if you can't tell if it's hexagonal or octagonal?
that was.
Learn
You'll
to
have to ask Eve that one because I didn't bring up the shapes.
Hmm.
Just a couple of comments in the YouTube thing. One was the reason I brought it up, because my understanding is a lot of insurance companies, they charge more for for
Do they?
product.
Oh, well, okay.
Or they adjust the rates. I don't know how
about-
much, and I don't know
I
which
don't-
ones do it. And
I don't know about that, but if an insurance company does it, they have to have data to support it. But if one insurance company does it, all of them are going to do it. I mean, these insurance companies are they're number crunchers. They really do research this stuff. I can't imagine one insurance company doing it and not others. I wonder if that's just a myth.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what they base that on. I mean, I
know
don't
my
know if
insurance
they have
company
to
does
link
it.
their rates to studies. They are
No, but they have people on staff to study that sort of thing, because they have to know their risk. They have to understand. It's a numbers game. Insurance is just a numbers game. I know I've never been charged more for it, so I can't imagine that. But I had a red Mustang when I was in my early 20s, and that thing got hit like 3 times, got rear-ended like 3 times. So I don't know, maybe there is something to it. But I drive a red car now, and I I did get hit, but she wasn't paying attention. So I don't know. Maybe if people are really paying attention, then there's a difference between getting pulled over and getting into accidents too. I mean, you get into accidents because people are not seeing you, and I don't see that happening. And you get pulled over because people are seeing you. So
they may hit you because they are seeing you.
That on purpose. Then they'd be hitting you on purpose. So that it doesn't add up to me. The math just doesn't work. So anyway, onto the
the fun part of the
my fun segment is another thing that popped up in my Facebook feed this morning, and I had to include it today because it was too cute. This is the inside of a beagle's ear. If you will bring up the first slide.
I saw this one.
Up.
It's the inside of a beagle's ear, and
Which
I
side?
think it looks like Trump.
Which one? Is the beagle's ear?
Yeah. That is the right. Yeah, which I don't know. But I just thought it was really
One
cute.
looks like a beagle's asshole. The one on the right?
No, traditionally dogs' assholes look like Jesus.
That's right. That's right.
They tend to.
Anyway,
we call those cheese ass.
God.
So I just thought it was cute because oh wow, how did the snip thing? That's not supposed to be in there.
I don't know.
I don't know how that got in there. It's not supposed to be in there. Anyway, because people they're seeing Trump in everything these days. Like this butter. You go to the next one. This pie, if you look at the next one. This
it has to be pumpkin pie.
Color there.
Yeah. This caterpillar, it is the color, definitely. And
it is cheap. Kill it.
Yep. And basically any ear of corn.
I hate him so much. I can't contain it.
Oh God, you turned off.
So that was the fun portion of our tonight.
Dedicate a few minutes to every show to just
Trump pareidolia.
I don't know. Trump
It's the minutes of rage.
Oh God, you know.
Do a minutes of rage segment.
Or we could just every show we could just read a few tweets. I mean, that would do it.
Oh God.
I don't know. It's all over the internet.
Well, now it takes half an hour.
Right.
Yeah,
Double the length of tweets. I'm sticking to short
You
tweets.
just have to read the funniest ones.
Yep. Is that a comb over blow over? That's Ben Bradley on the. I thought was clever. Anyway.
Oh man.
So
do not need
that's
to add
that's
to
my
the tweet.
contribution.
Yep. Very very good. I enjoyed the color
For
thing
tonight.
especially.
It's just, I studied it for so long, and it irks me that we are still at a point where
People are still making those crazy arguments about Viking women. I know. Oh, I'm sorry.
Segue? No.
Now,
Bob,
just
you are next. Are you
don't
talking
say
about
medieval
Viking?
witch hunt.
Are you going to talk about Viking women? I thought Eve would be talking about Viking women.
No one's talking about Viking women.
I'm
Not tonight.
confused. I'm really confused. Bob has something to do with Paris. A free man.
No,
in
it has
Paris.
nothing to do with Paris.
Really?
It has to do with
Has to do with free men?
free.
Kind of.
Things
Sort
that are
of.
free.
Well, no, actually in jail. So
I thought I was on the $1 million pyramid or whatever.
current.
Things
Well,
are free.
there is a pyramid involved. All right. Well, actually a Ponzi. So anyway, you may remember Jared Fogle. He was Subway spokesman for many years after going on a restrictive diet of Subway sandwiches or something,
that guy.
and also working out.
Does he work for Sprint now? No, that's the other guy.
That's the other guy. No,
he didn't work for anybody now.
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, that's right. He's the one that
he's well, no, he does work. Never mind. So he's in a federal prison in Colorado right now for a variety of offenses related to child pornography. He's serving something over a decade in jail because he had he traveled with intent to elicit sex from a child. And that's just wrong.
did he offer them a sandwich?
No, he did not. Come here, little boy. No.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
There's
Get back
also
here, you little bitch.
the child pornography.
Yeah, and for receiving child pornography, I think is what it was. And his manager also is serving an even longer sentence. But okay, so there were 2 years, that from arrest to his guilty plea. It was about a year or so, and it's been a year or so since Jared went to jail. Haven't heard much from him until today.
Hmm.
Did he surface today?
A little bit. He had submitted an appeal to have his, I guess, to have the whole ruling vacated and him to be set free, because, you ask. Ask the judge to let him go. And as part of...
Was it on a firm legal basis, Bob?
Not so much. But actually, the sovereign citizen part of this, the sovereign citizens, right? These are these people who don't believe that the federal government has any authority.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, they rarely recognize the authority of anyone above level, the level of sheriff.
Don't you have to be part of a nation in order to have rights?
Huh? You would think. No, I don't know that you do. I don't know. Human rights are human rights, right? But we're talking about these people just simply don't recognize the right of states to issue things like ID. It's often coupled with conspiratorial beliefs about how your social security number is used and how you're being tracked and controlled by the system.
But also, if you say magic words.
Oh yeah, well that's the thing.
aren't there millions of dollars that the Social Security Administration owes all of us if we say the right magic words?
Yeah.
Right. And
sort of like if you paste a disclaimer in your Facebook feed.
Yeah.
Or you tell
Wait,
WikiLeaks
what?
that this email is off the record.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And somehow capital
he's
letters
a
are
smart
involved.
son. Anyway, so, but yeah, they kind of have this
Impacting
idea of the law as if the legal system is just a whole bunch of gotchas and technicalities and is made of loopholes, which not so much. But anyway, the only reason why I know anything about them is because they really intersect with a lot of conspiratorial ideas about how power works. And if Tim was here, he'd vouch for us. We went to a screening many years back of What in the World Are They Spraying, which is about chemtrails. Yeah. And one of the people there talking at the lobby is the world premiere, mind you. I mean, all of the stars.
Yeah.
Nobody I recognized was there. And there's one guy there who's a sovereign citizen, and he was talking about this
AKA Freeman on the land.
Huh?
AKA Freeman on the land.
Right. And so he was saying that he was talking about this time that he went to jail, or he was in court, and he said, I don't recognize the sovereignty or the jurisdiction of this court because the flag has a yellow fringe, and that's
admiralty.
Yeah, the admiralty flag. It's the law of the sea applies here, and you're just like, what? And the guy threw him in jail for contempt, and he still kind of thought that he won.
Yeah,
it just, he's denser than a concrete elephant, man.
It was probably the chemtrails made him like that.
Yeah, well,
but isn't there also something about capital letters?
Oh yeah, that there's a difference between who you are and
the person referred to as.
And the person on your birth certificate, and it has to do with capitalization and weird parentheses and all sorts of wacky stuff. Yeah, it's really a bizarre system of beliefs. Anyway, but at least they're irritating and file lots of frivolous lawsuits,
which they never ever win.
Never. They do clog up the courts, but
to be fair,
yeah,
it's a hobby.
Well, they're all in jail and they have nothing else to do, so they file a bunch of pro se, which means pro se literally translates to throw out my motion. That means they're representing themselves, not having a lawyer. Functionally, it means throw out my suit. So anyway, it looks like the way that was being reported is that Jared had filed this motion for dismissal of his charges, and he cited a lengthy document by a guy named.
You just happen to have this.
Huh? Yeah. Well, I do my research.
I know.
By a guy named Frank Edwin Pete.
I appreciate that you printed it, so it looks, real.
Yep. No, I'm just making this up.
No, those are just blank pages, aren't they?
Huh?
They're just blank pages.
They're just pictures of your mom. So,
at least they're not stacks of blank pages.
So, I have a hard time talking anyway. So anyway, yeah.
Continue.
He said this Frank Pate guy makes an argument that Fogel wasn't adequately represented. He claims that he's entitled to submit an amicus brief in this case because if they rule in Fogel's favor, the consequences might impact on his own case. and he's in jail for doing a $2 million Ponzi scheme on other Scientologists, independent Scientologists. So, and so
Wow.
Tony Ortega recognized this guy's name.
The layers.
Yeah, from the underground bunker, the Scientology site, anti-Scientology site. And you have this Ortega says at the end of his little write-up of this, you know, the Washington Post reports it as a as a legal Hail Mary, and identifies Jared as now identifying as like a sovereign citizen. And Ortega says at the end of his, that this guy, yeah, he says it's not a sovereign citizen filing because it is a based on an Article 3 appeal. Okay, but the whole argument is proper jurisdiction, and Article 3 is a angle of attack that sovereign citizens use. So I'm not sure that Ortega is entirely right here. I don't know much enough about the law to be able to say that it is or is not a sovereign citizen thing. He hypothesizes that the judge hypothesizes that the judge saw the word sovereign used in the filing by Pate and decided that this was a sovereign citizen thing. But it really is about jurisdiction. And the whole idea is that courts don't have legal jurisdiction over, you know, traveling across state lines to molest children. Huh? And one of his arguments is that there were no facts presented. Well, he fucking pled guilty.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's kind of fact enough, homeboy. So it seems to be a gigantic nothing. Well, this is how the judge put it. From the order denying motion to correct clear error, defendant Jared Fogel's frivolous pro se motion to correct clear error pursuant to rule whatever is denied.
Tee-hee, he said. Tee-hee-hee.
Tee-hee-hee. Title 18 of the Code 3231 provides that district courts of the United States shall have original jurisdiction exclusive of the courts of the states and all offenses against the United States. The district court clearly had subject matter jurisdiction over Fogel's criminal proceedings. And then some of the legal precedent they cite for throwing out sovereign citizens pleas, a defense that has, quote, no conceivable validity in American law. I just like, no conceivable validity. Yeah, that makes me happy. The seventh court.
If he was smart, he would just run for office as a Republican.
No shit. Yeah. Or yeah, he'll get a pardon from Trump, and then become
a senator or
he's already got brand recognition.
Supreme Court justice in a certain state
that shall remain Alabama.
Yeah. Exactly what I was going to say.
But they said that the Seventh Circuit has instructed that these theories should be rejected summarily, however they are presented. And I think that this is probably one that is perhaps less nutty, but built on the same bedrock of bullshit. This is my guess.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, so Jared, and whether or not Jared, it does mean that he's not. Well, it's kind of it implies that he's maybe maybe not a straight shooter. He said
What?
No.
he has said in the past that he's remorseful and that he deserves prison time, except let me out. So you don't get to say both of those. So
Why not? Didn't do it. It's fake news. Okay, it's true, but I should be able to do it anyway.
I never said that I did.
Seems to work well.
yeah.
That's fake.
Yeah, so this is
Anyway.
the Jared Fogle situation, just in case you know. And
I just feel bad.
if you want to write Jared a letter,
Dear
send it
Jared.
to Jared Fogle,
Are you keeping the weight
number
off?
129-19028,
Subway in jail.
Inglewood Federal Correctional Institution, 9595 West Quincy Avenue, Littleton, Colorado, 08123.
And write it in crayon. He'll really enjoy that.
Yeah, well, then, oh,
Yeah,
that makes me sad.
no. We should send his address to Roy.
Yeah.
Maybe they can
See,
have
he
something to
would
talk
probably, if he would probably have supported that. He came up with some weird ass dissents, is all I'm saying. When he was on the bench.
That's true. Thank you, Bob.
My pleasure.
For depressing me more.
Oh
Well,
no, I was
I
gonna
try
say.
to bring the joy.
And you
guys
failed.
you guys are such moody bastards. Oh wait, that's
Anyway. So, I'm gonna just, I'm gonna hope and go and risk everything gambling on Eve's good and bad news that hopefully the good is gonna cheer us up enough that the bad is not gonna bring us
Or
back.
at least if it's bad, please make it funny.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually not that funny. But there is genuinely good news-ish. But
Okay.
to start out with, personal anecdote time.
Ooh.
It's that time of year when college students are signing up for spring classes. That means they're meeting with their advisors.
Mm-hmm.
Last week, I heard a colleague talking with a student, and the student was thinking about taking an aromatherapy class. That's right. At our universities, yes?
How many credits?
You don't have standing enough to talk about our university like that.
Whatever. The university at which I work, students can get college credit for studying the healing properties of nice smells.
Oh.
I assume their final exam is scratch and sniff, where the student...
No.
Well,
You don't want to stumble over something that might excite you or put you to
Yeah.
sleep
That's true.
Where the
in the middle of an exam.
have to identify what illness each smell cures.
Oh.
Um,
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
Today in my intro to research classes, we read the Emily Rosa study on therapeutic touch. And then I decided we should do a science. Actually, it was very unscientific because I didn't have the proper equipment, which is basically a cardboard box and a towel. So instead, we have to rely on the honesty of the participants, that they close their eyes while they did the therapeutic touch study. But anyway, I wouldn't be entirely surprised if the university did offer therapeutic touch or Reiki. We have a holistic health minor within the School of Health Sciences. In other words, yep, students can study pseudosciences that don't improve health under the banner of health sciences.
Yeah, but no, there's no but.
Yeah.
It's an abomination. It's truly an abomination.
That's disturbing. Even more
when a big health
disturbing.
school like
I'm
here-
disturbed that you even offer a class in that, much less a minor.
Barb. Wait till I get tenure.
Yeah.
Now, University of Maryland here in Baltimore has
Yes.
a huge,
Big time.
yes, it's like, I think they're, well, I know a couple of years ago they were the biggest spender on cam research in the country. So
it's bullshit central.
Yes, I was going to say, even more disturbing is the fact that many premier hospitals and medical schools are selling pseudoscientific theories that don't improve health to their patients. And it's, huge business, and it's increased massively over the years. But I'm not going to focus on that because there is some good news.
Oh.
Recently, Britain's Royal College of Veterinary Surgeons released a statement on alternative medicine, particularly homeopathy. The statement reads, "We would like to highlight our commitment to promoting the advancement of veterinary medicine on sound scientific principles and to reiterate the fundamental obligation on our members as practitioners within a science-based profession, which is to make animal welfare their first consideration. In fulfilling this obligation, we expect treatments offered by veterinary surgeons are underpinned by a recognized evidence base or sound scientific principles. Veterinary surgeons should not make unproven claims about any treatments, including prophylactic treatments. Homeopathy exists without a recognized body of evidence for its use. Furthermore, it is not based on sound scientific principles. To protect animal welfare, we regard such treatments as being complementary rather than alternative to treatments for which there is a recognized evidence base or which are based on sound scientific principles."
It's a little bit of a fudging there.
Yeah, I know. It is vital to protect the welfare of animals committed to the care of the veterinary profession and the public's confidence in the profession that any treatments not underpinned by a recognized evidence-based or sound scientific principles do not delay or replace those that do. And as Bob said, it's a little weaselly on the subject of complementary treatments, but it's still good overall. Because, my God, they use the words evidence-based and scientific principles many, many times. And the overwhelming, that's a quote, overwhelming majority of the council members agreed with the statement. Now, obviously, a somewhat lesser concern is the matter of human health. But some strides have been made there as well. Why are you laughing? Oh, anyway. In September, the European Academy's Science Advisory Council released a statement on homeopathy, and it was pretty scathing. The council stated that it was, quote, publishing the statement to build on recent work by its member academies to reinforce criticism of the health and scientific claims made for homeopathic products. The analysis and conclusions are based on the excellent science-based assessments already published by authoritative and impartial bodies. The fundamental importance of allowing and supporting consumer choice requires that consumers and patients are supplied with evidence-based, accurate, and clear information.
Why do you hate patient freedom, Eve? No, I'm sorry.
Wait a minute. It is therefore essential to implement a standardized, knowledge-based regulatory framework to cover product efficacy, safety and quality, and accurate advertising practices across the European Union. They conclude that the claims for homeopathy are implausible and inconsistent with established scientific concepts and agree with previous extensive evaluations concluding that there are no known diseases for which there is robust, reproducible evidence that homeopathy is effective beyond placebo effect.
Dehydration.
Yeah. No, because that's not how it works.
No,
that's
not anymore.
Not how homeopathy works. Among their recommendations, there should be consistent regulatory requirements to demonstrate efficacy, safety, and quality of all products for human and veterinary medicine, to be based on verifiable and objective evidence commensurate with the nature of the claims being made. In the absence of this evidence, a product should be neither approvable nor registrable by national regulatory agencies for the designation medicinal product, and evidence-based public health systems should not reimburse homeopathic products and practices unless they are demonstrated to be efficacious and safe by rigorous testing. And it's all very satisfying. It's also all very European. Here in this country, we have reputable hospitals promoting Reiki as a therapy for blood cancer. Well, okay, not anymore, because Georgetown quietly removed that claim from their website after it was challenged by a reporter. But it used to be there. Still, these European statements are good news, and if you are a gerbil in Scratchy Bottom, Dorset, I looked it up, that's a real place. You have
Of course it is.
Oh, you have a gerbil and Scratchy Bottom? What is this, the Richard Gere show? Oh my god! Sorry.
Well, then you have a good chance of receiving good evidence-based care.
A gerbil extraction.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. The downside of this is it's veterinary care. So.
Yeah.
But the other statement by the European academies was also
very
about
good.
human health.
Yeah. Cool.
Why do the Europeans want to regulate the way that people in the UK live?
No.
What?
No.
Nothing. I'm just.
Well,
I'm
the UK,
so tired right now. You have no idea.
The UK was, or British academies were involved in the constructing of that statement. So,
Yeah.
despite the whole Brexit thing.
So while you were talking about that kind of cool story, I wanted to point out that a friend of the show, Nathan Miller, on Twitter right now, has took it upon himself to come up with a hashtag that I think that should take off related to Bob's story about the sovereign citizen and his argument about the fringe on the flag making it maritime law. So he's come up with this hashtag called Fringe Legal Theories. He's posted a couple of them, and I mean,
that won't be confusing.
Are you actually?
It won't be confusing at all.
Oh my! Are you Dr. Atlantis? Is that? Did you? Yeah. Did you catch a case of the Blakes?
Yeah, case of the Blakes.
Case of the Blakes, definitely. So I think this should definitely, if anybody takes it upon themselves to pursue this, this needs to happen.
Oh my god!
All kinds of maritime law jokes. It'd be awesome. Fringe legal. It's great.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's great. I like that one.
So I guess that's all the main guts of the show. Thanks, you guys. You guys are awesome. As far as robot stuff,
am I sinking?
Are you sinking?
Yeah,
you're always sinking.
I seem to be.
You're always you're always Inception, Bob. You know.
Yeah.
Usually it can see like this much.
Yes. You're Thank you for fixing that now.
And it's right back to where it was.
So really quick, the only robot stuff I want to talk about this week, there's apparently the first meeting of the Convention of Conventional Weapons is meeting at the United Nations this week in Geneva. And one of the things that they're talking about is killbots.
Yay!
Yes, there's been a lot of talk over the last couple of years and a lot of
not enough action.
Yep.
Nothing.
What?
From the killbots.
Yep. So the attempt is to outlaw. I mean, they really want the UN to do a resolution to ban whatever that means. Autonomous killer robots.
Is that so because we don't have anybody to prosecute? Or is it because it's exceptionally cruel to be killed by a...
I think the crux of the argument has to do with having machines that make the decision to kill. So it's not about machines that kill. We've got tons of those. We've got machines that do it very intelligently. They have sensors and they track and they somehow deliver a killing blow in some aspect by electronic means. But the decision to use it to kill, when done by machine, can happen very quickly and in high volume and be they're comparing it to the problem with landmines. So the fact we've got areas of the world which still have these landmines hanging around because they were used during wartime, they're still deadly and they still kill people even outside of the context of whatever conflict put them there in the first place. And those are banned. The UN has, it's been 10 years. It's not that, I mean, it's still kind of recent, but it's still. Now, you can argue about whether a ban means anything, whether what the UN says means anything nowadays. There's all kinds of things.
The robots don't care.
The politics. But there are people who are trying to draw attention to the issue so that people can make intelligent decisions about it. And the reason I'm talking about it is one of the groups involved in this discussion and trying to push the agenda of banning killbots produced a video. Now, this is Elon Musk's Future of Life Institute, which is tied up in his ideology and plans to try to regulate the use of military robots and AI and things like that. They produced a video called Slaughterbots, which I'm not going to show, but I'll link to. And if you're curious or want to be terrified, go check it out. It is done. It starts out kind of like a TED Talk, like it's this guy who's an actor, but he's playing like a CEO of a tech company, talking about the latest in technology they developed for military use. And he does this demonstration showing a tiny little quadcopter, which joins him on stage and then dodges him trying to bat it out of the air. And then it goes over and on a mannequin that's standing there, supposedly using facial recognition, according to the way he describes this. It recognizes the mannequin and then
assassinates it.
Yeah, it uses
the mannequin.
A tiny shaped explosive charge in the drone itself, goes on the forehead and blows the guy away.
Cool.
And the way it's described is that all the technology that he's talking about is available today. I mean,
oh, Bob, we have got to upgrade your drone.
Yeah, totally, for sure.
Yes, you need to make it a killbot, man. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Anyway,
although
it's not really autonomous
because we're crap at this.
It's true.
Watch the video and you'll know exactly how to do it.
Yeah,
trust me.
Excellent.
Anyway,
maybe it wasn't a good idea to produce a how-to video.
It's not a how-to video.
Elon.
It is worth watching because it does bring forward the ideas of, well, if these things are cheap and readily available and you can produce them in large quantities, and I mean there are implications of having large swarms of tiny little bots that can recognize a person and home in on just that person and then deliver a lethal blow. And how that ties into politics. That
doesn't strike me as
state of the world.
That doesn't strike me as indiscriminate, like the normal types of things that people use to kill other people, like landmines and biological and chemical agents. This seems targeted.
Yeah, this doesn't seem, and it's not representative of what's really out there right now.
Well, there's something really offensive about assassinations that doesn't seem to be as offensive when it's random people.
The argument they make in the argument they make in the video is that because it's cheap, readily available technology, that anyone can use it. And the argument is that you could pretty much, I mean, whether you're a small
download an assassination app,
terrorist organization, or an individual who just is pissed off, or a government, or who knows what,
or they could just
it
buy
makes it a really easy way to make
semi-automatic.
You don't like
what so they basically the way that they find the bot finds the targeted person is through facial recognition. So you no longer need a lock of hair or
yeah, I mean, there are a lot of things being waived in this video that
spell.
As an engineer, I kind of understand how difficult it really is to do. First off, small drones don't have very long battery life, so you'd have to be near wherever this person is. You'd have to generally know where they are in order to search for them visually.
And I would say that, Barb, in the context of war, assassination is, if you were just going to assassinate somebody because you didn't like their government, that would be offensive, I think. But in the context of war, you remember at the beginning of the most recent Gulf War, one of the ways that one of the stories that came out really early was that Saddam Hussein had been killed in a decapitation strike. That's a legitimate tactic in war.
I just keep seeing people complaining about their iPhones not recognizing them.
That's
another
thing.
That's an example. It's a good thing. It's probably a good thing then, yeah.
Yes, I think that a false positive in a facial recognition when you're trying to kill someone is a big deal. Yeah, there's all kinds of things they gloss over, and this is obviously a dramatization to make people afraid because they're trying to push the agenda of banning machines that kill. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
From a military standpoint, though, like what you want to do is not put your troops in harm's way, and still, although you know what, yeah, I guess for day-to-day combat, facial recognition isn't a big deal, you know. Normal ground combat, face to face, it doesn't really matter what they look like. If they're in the wrong uniform, you shoot them.
Which is a problem nowadays because they don't wear uniforms.
There's that too.
And
But,
and also, as far as assassinations are concerned, I mean, it seems to be the sort of impersonality of it, but there's plenty of other ways people can do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Kill people. They seem to do it fairly often.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, a lot of the
God, I'm glad we got cheerier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if especially in this country, if someone wants to go out and kill a bunch of people, there are easier ways than kill bots.
Yeah.
It unfortunately
take away their health care
way too often. Yeah, that's true. You take away their health care, or
it's too slow.
Shoot them because you don't like their music. Yeah, the main problem I had was that they gloss over the technology. They make it look like it's really easy and really inexpensive. Now, the big thing that I haven't mentioned is, I mean, they gloss over the fact that these drones in the video have explosives in them. Now, a small explosive charge it's not something. I mean, you can make your own explosive in your house, but you probably can't make an explosive that would be effective in a tiny little package. And all the electronics, it's still there are easier ways to do that now. So anyway.
Well, they in Syria, ISIS was using jerry-rigged drones to deliver grenades.
Yeah.
I mean, we're moving. They're moving in that direction because it works and can be done.
Yeah, but a larger single drone isn't very effective for this kind of thing. You need a small. I mean, the idea is a small swarm, so you're overwhelmed, and then also you have a lot of drones to do the search pattern, which you need if you're looking for somebody.
Well, you'd be okay if you just had a tennis racket.
That's true.
Like
I thought about that too while I was watching this.
Robotic.
They're showing that people got in the habit of putting screens over their windows, so they'd have. Because they would bust, because these drones apparently could bust through glass and stuff like that. So people would reinforce their windows. And I'm like, why do that? Just wear a Kevlar hat all the time. And
I do anyway.
Or something like that. Would you get in the habit of just wearing a reinforced hat? I mean, because these things are small. They would have to be.
They will fly up your nose and explode.
Is that what it was? No, they're not that small. Anyway, you wear a mask all the time and wear a Kevlar hat and carry around a tennis racket. You'll be fine. Anyway,
totally. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, you just wear a beekeeper outfit. You'll be okay.
Well, if you were living in an environment where that was required to survive, you'd do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, I guess we'll put the link in the show notes because we're so good at doing that kind of thing.
Yeah.
If anybody wants,
I believe I was
watch it.
scolded about that recently.
Yeah,
Mm.
I'm just as bad as the rest of you guys. Anyway, so go check it out. It's Slaughterbots. It's on YouTube. It's easy to find. It's also on Elon Musk's website. It'll make you scared, and it's the kind of thing. That's another thing about it. The video will make you scared of the future until you stop and think about it's not really as easy as it sounds like on the video. Yeah.
Is this like Elon Musk's version of an after-school special?
Kind of. Yeah. It's not the same kind of format, but it's realistic enough that if you didn't know that it was dramatic, you might be like, what? But anyway, just so this is the picture of the actual drone from the video, and that's the size they're looking at. So these little quadcopter and that little copper thing in the middle is the explosive charge. So that's really tiny.
I don't buy it.
Yeah. It's obviously was supposed to be like technology you knew was around today, but was like a little bit more advanced. So 15 minutes into the future kind of thing.
Hawks would take that thing out.
Not if there were 50 of them.
Bats would.
50 of them? You'd need more than one bat. Anyway. So that's the stuff and the things, and thank you for watching. We're going to do... do we have any announcements? No announcements? Nothing's going on. Just holidays.
Not really, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Are we not doing a show next week because it's the one before Thanksgiving?
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Is it?
Tweet it.
Is it next week already?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yep. Yes,
it is.
And soon we'll be dead. I extrapolated a little.
Well, that was charming.
Well,
ending on a high note like that.
Yeah. Anyway, so Thanksgiving. What's the next thing? Oh, book time. You guys got books?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I have a book. Actually, I have a physical book. Isn't that weird?
Ooh.
Go ahead, Barbara. Just go online. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. The Wapiti Lake female produced a litter of 4 pups, and the pack was viewed nearly daily in Hayden Valley over the summer. In July, 3 males from the Molly's pack began to interact with the females and pups, leading 755M to avoid the area, although he delivered food to his pups for several weeks during the transition. Eventually, 755M left and dispersed while the new pack of 9 traveled together.
Eve?
In the same year that James published his first descriptive catalog, 1895, his first ghost story appeared in print, a curious book later titled Ken Albrecht's Scrapbook, a tale of haunted biblioclasty that recoils at the dismantling of medieval manuscript, even as it plunders James' dearest scholarly interests as a rich vein of imaginative material. The protagonist, Denniston, is a Cambridge man, serious in his pursuit of recreational archaeology at the medieval Cathedral of St. Bertrand de Cummings, while his less inquisitive friends relax in nearby Toulouse. It is thus the first of many autobiographical fictions paralleling a trip James took in 1892 with friends to the same spot, and yet it is also somewhat parodic in its evocation of prefabricated Gothic chills to which the protagonist is comically immune, at least at first, as his local guide cringes and winces above the nave.
I just had a thought. We don't name things very well nowadays. just thinking about that while you're reading. Okay. Bob, go ahead and do yours.
To George Washington. Dear Sir, Your Excellency's friendly and obliging letter of the 28th last came safely to hand. I thank you for your assurance of seconding my application to General Morgan. The truth of that affair is that he purchased the watch for a trifle of a British soldier who plundered Major Cochrane at the moment of his fall at Yorktown.
If you have If you have programmable matter in your house, Hacking might be a bit of a concern. Maybe you wake up one day and the dish has run away with the spoon. It's bad enough you lost your stuff, but now you're wondering where the knife went. Okay. I was going to read more, but that's probably enough. Anyway, book, Barb.
Okay, mine is the Yellowstone Wolf Project Annual Report 2016.
Huh. Eve?
Mine is Medieval Studies and Ghost Stories of M.R. James by Patrick J. Murphy.
It's a great picture.
It was my Halloween book. It's late now.
No. What's yours, Bob?
Mine is The Essential Hamilton, Letters and Other Writings.
Oh.
Alexander Hamilton,
cool.
Edited by Joanne B. Freeman, who is on one of my favorite podcasts.
Cool.
Backstory.
I saw that one in the store. And I haven't bought it yet, but maybe I will at some point. Mine is called Soonish. 10 emerging technologies that'll improve and or ruin everything. It's by Kelly and Zach Weinersmith. You might know those names. Zach Weinersmith does Saturday morning breakfast cereal. Yeah, and he's a huge, intelligent, and funny guy. So
yeah,
and this is a very easy to read. It's got some meat in it, but it's also just a lot of fun. So there you go. They had a Kickstarter to fund the book, and now it's available to everyone. Get your copy today. So that feels like a show. Did we do a show?
I think we did.
I think we did a show.
One.
Yep. Shall I wrap it up? Oh, nobody guessed the movie.
Nobody guessed the movie?
Nobody.
Seriously?
Not a one. Nobody tried. Nope, not
they got distracted.
Now, if I told them that it took place, according to the movie, it takes place in the year 2013, which is interesting because that's, apparently
the
past. And it's
this is how
Kevin
the future
Costner.
used to be.
Yeah, Kevin Costner's a big clue.
That would be a big clue as well.
Is it Water World or something?
No, it's Dirt World. We were talking about
World.
Yes. No, it's The Postman, which is subtitled Dirt World. So terrible movie.
I subtitled it too.
The runtime on this movie is 2 hours and 52 minutes. I think.
Horrible.
Wow,
I know.
That's a lot of
my effing god. So yes.
Oh my god.
Anyway, and nobody.
This going into Branagh level.
And it is slow too. It is slow.
And I'm thinking the reason nobody got it is because we haven't seen any of the movie they actually watched. We've only seen the segment after they turned it off.
Oh, they're surrendering.
Oh, there's the flag, which is a big sign.
Anyway. Yeah, the beginning made it a lot more. Yeah, the beginning made it a lot more.
So if I just put the first 20 minutes of the movie on repeat, everyone would have gotten it.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, we told
I agree.
Movie. Anyway. So there you go.
Because there's a lot of dirt in it.
There is lots of dirt. Although he doesn't sell the person he's with in this one. Anyway. Thanks for watching the show. I'm going to put the logo up and the music, and we shall all dance dramatically. The Virtual Skeptics is an independent production of whatstheharm.net, Skeptical Humanities, myself, ICBS Everywhere, and Delta News, and probably 4 or 5 other things. Our logo was designed by Sarah Mayhew at sarahmayhew.com, and our theme music is by Musicant. I swear we're dancing.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dramatically.
Fake news. Thanks for watching.